Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, before we jump into this morning's field report, let's check in with Mark from the Columbia. I believe we spoke with Mark yesterday. He was fishing out of the mouth of the Deschutes above Bonneville, one of my favorite parts of the world. Mark, how'd you finish up yesterday?
Nothing yesterday, unfortunately. But we did have to cut out kind of early because I had another thing going on.
Gotcha. How's it going this morning?
So we killed one this morning so far. There's probably about 50 boats up here. Got a little ripple on the water. So it's not going too terribly bad today.
How's the bite overall? As opposed to yesterday, it seemed pretty slow. Today, does it seem like they may have moved up in there a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. When we had mine on, there was probably 3 or 4 others that were hooked up and caught in that same time. That was about an hour ago, I'm going to say.
Everybody doing the same thing, trolling with 360s, or was anybody doing anything different, Mark?
It looks like most people are trolling. There are a few eggers. I myself did change up, so I switched over to a stuffer bait this morning, and that seemed to have paid off.
What kind? Super bait, spinning fish?
Spin fish. It's the Mad Clown.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. And then I used a little the Bloody Antsy tuna gel from Procure.
All right, very good. Now, a lot of folks that are watching don't fish up there. Most folks don't. As you know, if they did, there'd be hundreds of boats there right now instead of 40 or 50. But it's an interesting fishery. I've had a chance to fish there. Most of the time when I was growing up, we were just pulling plugs or pulling spinners, no 360s. I mean, this is way back in the day. But do you like to keep your gear right along the bottom when you're trolling there?
Yes, so I'm basically making sure every once in a while that my dropper weight is touching bottom, and I'm kind of ticking the bottom a little bit, and then I can vary my depth within about a foot or so. So yes, I want my gear as close to that bottom as I can safely. Gotcha.
What's your plan the remainder of the day, Mark? You guys just hoping to get another fish or two before you're done, or are you waiting for the weather to change? The wind can be very interesting there, everyone.
So that's ideally, we're going to grind it out until we got our 2 other fish. The wind prediction is 15 to 20 with gusts of 30 this afternoon. So we do have a ripple going now, and the wind is starting to pick up. So I'm going to guess probably 11 or 12 we'll probably get blown off.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It happens quickly. Mark, you know that better than anyone. You can be fine, everything's good to go, and then that little slight breeze starts to pick up, and it turns into a tornado.
Look downriver, and if you start to see whitecaps downriver, that's time to reel in and head for the dock.
Yes, because it can get a little violent in that section of the river. Mark, thanks for your report again, man. We really do appreciate it. Just another opportunity, everyone, to find out what's going on in other areas on the Columbia. Mark, be safe. We appreciate the info, okay?
All right. Have a great day.
You too. You too. All right, let's go ahead and show you fish counts. We'll get into the other reports here in just a minute, but I got to show this. This is starting to stay very stable. So if you were to look, we're not going to show the 10-year average like we did yesterday. It's right there. Everything is on pace. The interesting part will be, though, when it peaks here this next week for the 10-year average, will it continue? Or will it just drop right off like it typically does that 3rd week going into the 4th week of September? So hopefully we'll see. Question that everyone's asking is, are we going to get an extension? Based on the numbers, I would say yes. But you can't put anything on the folks that make the decisions. I have no clue. We haven't heard anything one way or the other. Hopefully this next weekend, I might be able to tie down Bill Monroe Jr., who is like in the middle of all this stuff, and get some insight from him. Post that 15th closure, we'll see how things work out. Steelhead numbers too, silver numbers. I mean, everything is just looking really good right now. Hopefully, it'll just continue to improve as we go forward. All right, let's take a look at the river levels. You got to pay attention. I was reminded this morning by one of our Facebook folks to remind everyone at these low tides, it being well under 1 foot, and in this particular case, towards the end of the week, it's going to get to 0. Not meaning that the river's empty, but it's super low. A lot of things that are typically not exposed, meaning deadheads, outcroppings, whatever it might be, they're either going to get exposed or they're going to be right underneath the surface. So you really need to pay attention to where you're running around. If you're not familiar with the particular area that you're in, just stick to the middle of the river. But, you start getting to those edges on those low tides. I mean, really, you've got a 4 to a 5 foot swing here. You got to pay attention. Just keep that in mind if you're going to be out there. At Bonneville Dam, Ryan thought it would be a good idea to get this in, and I agree. With the spill being over after the 1st of September, you can see that the CFS and the foot coming out of Bonneville is way down. If you know, you know. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. If you know, you know. It's just that simple. Hey, and my brother-in-law, we got the photo in. Thanks, Ryan. This is my brother-in-law, Rusty. See, that's Rusty, and that's his bull. I'm very jealous. Rusty, congratulations. I believe this was yesterday evening. Just awesome, man. Just... I'm so hungry right now. Very, very cool. Rusty, congratulations. You made a good shot this year. Good job. Good job. As far as wanting to win something cool, send my buddy Jason Hambley an email, and you might have a chance to win that weekly prize pack from Procure, and we've got plenty of time to make it happen. Listen, remember, even if there isn't an extension on the Columbia, we got a lot of good fall Chinook fishing opportunities going forward in October and November along the coast and other areas, tributaries as well. So you're going to need those Procure products to, well, be successful. Let's hope. Real quickly, let's check in with Jeff Forgeron. I say real quickly, but I can't. I haven't seen you in so long, man. Number one, how'd your summer end?
Summer ended warm, if you will, if we're talking weather. But no, it's been great. My daughter's 9 months old now. Life's good. Life's great.
Dude, it's amazing how quickly they grow and how quick. Mine's 12. It feels like she was 9 months just a year ago. But things are changing. It looks like we're starting to work our way into fall.
We definitely are. And by the way, I'll confirm the wind is going to be cranking up a little bit in the gorge. So
yes,
you guys were correct on that one. The westerly breeze is going to be picking up. But it's starting to feel a little bit like fall out there, at least during the mornings when we see views like this. This is the view from the Willamette River, Rivermark Community Credit Union camera showing that marine layer overhead. We're in the mid-60s. That marine layer should burn off over the next several hours. But I really don't see high pressure like the one we just had reestablishing itself anytime soon. That's why I think we're done with heat waves for the year. We're going to have this system diving in from the northwest around midweek. That system is going to bring the goods. I'm thinking we're going to get some decent showers out of that system, perhaps amounting to 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain in parts of western Oregon and southwest Washington. It'll certainly cool down our temperatures. And our current 7-day forecast takes us out to September 14th, but the long-range outlook is telling us that we're looking at a stretch of below normal temperatures. Doesn't mean it's going to be super cold out there, but I don't think we're going to have 90s and triple-digit readings coming for the rest of the year. Look at this cooling trend that we're expecting over the next few days, going from the mid-80s today, low 80s tomorrow, mid-70s Tuesday, and the showers return Wednesday, dropping highs into the mid to upper 60s. We'll see temperatures rebound a little bit Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but the nights are going to start to turn cooler. That's for the inner urban areas with lows dropping into the low 50s, but I bet outlying spots are going to be dropping into the 40s. So much more of a fall-like feel over the next week or two. Owen?
Look at that. He comes in. He hasn't been in for who knows how long, and he brings us a great forecast. Jeff, thank you for that.
Listen, I do what I can for you. When you bring me that smoked duck, which is great on the charcuterie boards, Owen, I got to bring the goods.
Hey, I appreciate it. Have a great week. We appreciate such a great forecast. Things are changing, everyone. It's that time of year. It's hunting season, fall Chinook fishing. We got a lot on our doorstep. I couldn't be any more excited to get back at it. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I'm going to have my buddies from High and Dry Waders. We're going to talk about, yes, their newest waist waders that are now available. If you've ever purchased a pair of waist waders and were completely disappointed in what you got, you're not alone. But this will change the game completely. We'll be back with that in just a couple minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.